Hey everybody, this is Ronnie just coming to you today with a video. Gonna talk about a viewer question. And you know, and the viewer question was, do you think it is possible to be a solo person reseller and make a six-figure income after fees dealing with used items working reasonable hours? Now I'm assuming they're talking about after fees, maybe after your cost of goods, but loosely we're going to keep it to those kind of things, shipping, so on, etc. We're not going to talk about writing off parts of your house for business or maybe your vehicle and stuff like that, because that will change it totally differently, because of course you want to claim as little to the tax man as possible. You don't want the tax man in your pocket taking every last dollar you got. But we're going to talk about it a little bit. I've never been to that point. Close, but that's also with Amazon, Facebook, and everything else. Now, for y'all first time coming across this channel, I'm a full-time reseller. Me and my wife have been we're full-time for 3 years. She no longer is part of the business. She works full-time in the airline industry doing her thing. My money or our income from reselling still pays for all our bills. Her money basically goes into a savings for future, a future adventure, we'll call it, you know. But anyway, back to this moral of the story. We've done over $100,000 gross on eBay basically over the last 4 years now or so since being full time. I think if I looked at my account, it's like 650,000 over the last 5 years that we've done on eBay. Gives you that little thing. No, I think it's like 7 years that we've had an eBay account. So, you know, you have that little different thing right there. But I was looking at our numbers, like just over the last 2 months on eBay, and I wouldn't be close to that. Right now, I'm averaging about 10,000 a month. Our 2-month total, after you take out the returns and stuff like that, is 20,000 as of today. $20,030.24 on sold 261 items sold. So that's 2 months. So if you divide that 6, that's 120,000. And we all know eBay goes up and down certain months. What I sell is basically pre-owned men's clothing. It would be very hard to do it with what I maintain right now. And in my eBay store, as of this current moment, I only have 636 items. So I got to get on listings. Been slacking. I was sick. I'm feeling actually a lot better. As today even went on, I'm feeling a lot better. So it's going to be a lot of pictures getting up in the next few days. But depends on probably what niche you have, you know, with the used stuff. I mean, we've seen a lot of resellers do big numbers, but they have teams behind them. You know, Rally Roots, for instance, they got a warehouse. They got, you know, you got Mrs. Roots also, and then you got 2 employees, and, you know, they're doing what, 30. They pay up for some of their stuff because a lot of it's wholesale. You're paying up for a lot of that stuff. So after warehouse fees and everything like that, I would assume they're doing pretty well. But it's going to be a lot lower, you know. And then there's people like Pete Craigslist Hunter, who's probably, he does anywhere from 30 to, I've seen numbers close to 100,000 on eBay per month. But once again, he's paying up for items. You got a partner involved in your business. You have a physical location. You have multiple employees. Well, 2 really eBay employees, I should say. You know, so it's definitely doable. Now, if you take out, if you're just talking about yourself, I don't know too many people that have do it, especially here on this YouTube space. There's not really anyone that that's solo doing it that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. I may be missing, but we're going to talk about some numbers, and because it is possible, I think, depending on what niche you're in, and depends on what you consider reasonable hours. To have a six-figure income profit and work reasonable, I would think at least 50 hours a week, which it's not bad. I would say between 40 and 60. Some weeks you're a little light on the hours, some weeks maybe you're a little heavy on the hours. But I mean, I was in the restaurant business and ran restaurants, ran kitchens, and 60-hour weeks were like a vacation. There was sometimes where I would work 4, 5 months in a row without even a single day off. So work ethic, somewhat, when you're talking about a resale business, talking about reselling on one platform as it would be eBay, you kind of got to feed the beast consistently. I've noticed that recently. My sales have been all over the place because I have not listed really anything in 10 days. I was a lot going on, wife coming back from being out of the country, and then she was sick, then I was sick. I had to get some stuff done to my truck, and I did also something I don't usually like to do. I went sourcing or going out thrifting when I didn't need to do it. I had so much more stuff at the house already to do it. Now I'm backed up probably close to 50 things. And I know a lot of people would be like, oh, 50 things, that ain't nothing. But for me, that's a lot. 50 things is a lot. So I seen our sales go from like, Sunday was $750, Monday 680. I mean, $68. Sorry, it's 680, $68. Like, you have a huge $750 day, and then you get followed up by a $68 day. Monday, Tuesday was 260. Thursday was 219. Today's surprisingly been a great day. eBay roller coaster, up and down. That's my homeboy in the chat with me. They're throttling your store. Who knows? I'm not gonna comment or talk about it too much because I don't know what they do over there on eBay. I see the commercials. I see them selling my shit. I don't know. But anyway, so if I look at our totals from, let's say, now I'm just saying, what could we do if I put more effort into our business, or I'll say my business, because my wife's no more part of it. She doesn't help with any aspect of it. And let's say we wanted, like I've talked about before, $250,000 is where I want to be. $250,000 would easily break six-figure income, profit-wise, be very good living. Now, I'm not going to be able to do that out of this freaking 800 square foot condo, 900 square foot, 840, 920. I don't know what it is. We rent it. I don't own it. No idea what it is. We've been here for like 7 years now, so I have no idea what the exact. I know I did it a few years ago for my taxes, but I haven't figured out what it is anyway. So let's just say small apartment, condo, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, getting $250,000 out of eBay stuff in this. I mean, you see the stack of boxes right there. That's all stuff that has to be getting inventory. Don't think that's sales right there. That's not sales. That's inventory. They have inventory numbers on the side. Try to package everything up, and I kind of neatly put stuff away so it's easy to get to. We'll save that for later. So if I could increase in a very sound world, and then we're going to talk about selling clothing. In the summer, we sell other goods that we get from yard sales to estate sales to make up for it. Last year, I kind of took the summer off, but we're going to go back into where we were in years past. We'd see a fluctuation of 30% from our best month to our lowest month. And that would be anywhere between, I think, our best, no, it was a little bit more than that, because 14,000 to about 9,000. It's more like 35% maybe, math-wise, somewhere in there, 40 maybe. Maybe. high 30s. So our slowest month was 9 grand. Our best month was 14. So had that fluctuation where if you're a clothing seller, that's our niche. Summertime is kind of hard. Where what we've really got into, suits and sport coats, that stuff is a hard sell in the summer. It really sells kind of slows down. It's what I cut my teeth in for 8, 9 months a year. But man, summertime is rough. Rough out here for a clothing seller. Let me tell you. Ooh, baby. Rough, rough. But if you buy stuff that's in demand, buy good quality stuff. You see, we don't have a huge inventory, only 636 things, and we're consistently selling stuff when you have to put your stuff out there. And we get good prices for things. It's not like we're giving shit away over here. This ain't Ron's bargain basement. We getting good prices on things. Don't get it twisted. So if we could double that, let's say we can double that to about 1,200, 1,300 listings. I mean, necessarily saying, oh, we'd love to see 20 grand a month if we did that. And that would put us at selling what we do in 2 months, which would be about 260, which right now our average sale per price item is $76.74. So you'd say, okay, it's doable. One person, I think that's very doable. If I had the space and I had a little more shit, if I wasn't married and I'd have to put the time into a relationship like that, yeah, I would definitely be a lot easier. When you have kids, a family, not saying I got kids, but I do have a wife that does demand time. And really, I can only work Monday through Friday because she's off on weekends, and I gotta kind of, I gotta entertain the wife. So I'm given free range from Monday to Friday for the most part, but the weekends, you got to do your thing. Got to play husband. So, I put in, 40 hours a week, very leisurely, 50 hours. No, I'm not putting in 50 hours. 40 hours. Most of my time is actually sourcing items because of what we look for, and we don't mess around with a lot of the stuff that's longer tail and stuff like that. Stuff we can't get for a cheaper price either. I mean, let's face it. And I don't have the space to store stuff that I think would sell in 6 months. I can't keep anymore because we can't get rid of it because I don't have the space for it. So we really have to be very particular what we have. And if it is things that may wait, they have to kind of break a price point, like 75 or more. It can't be the buy a shirt for 5 to sell for 25 and wait out of 6, 8 months. Like that doesn't work for me anymore with our current location and where we're at. So now under our, I can only go by our numbers of what we have here. And that's if I doubled what we did for 2 months and put it into 1 month, 20,000, 260 sold listings. Can you list, source, and find 10 items a day is what it comes down to, basically. Now, you're not going to go out every day and find 10 things. You do things in batches. Go out to thrift store, do thrift store runs. I would break it down. I do 2 runs in a week. Go to 10, 12 stores in a day, do it twice a week. Get all my stuff, photograph everything. Hopefully that would take a day. Figure, what are we talking about again? 70 items. 10 items a day, 70 items. Now, if you're going to 20 thrift stores, I would hopefully be able to find 70 items to resell from those thrift stores. And photograph them and list them. Clothing is pretty simple. If you've already sold it, we've sold a lot of stuff. We have templates already made. It's kind of just going in, changing the templates, changing different descriptions of items and listing. A listing can be done in probably 3-4 minutes. And that's with me taking the measurements and everything at that moment. Photographs, a few minutes. I mean, start to finish, a listing with taking photographs and everything, if you combined all that time, should not take any more than 10 minutes, I would believe. And so you're talking six things an hour. So you're talking about what, 12 hours of listing time? 12 hours of listing time for 70 items. I think that's more than doable, and taking pictures. More than doable. It's a day and a half. If you'd put in 40 hours, 8-hour days. Now, selling clothing, for the most part, 10 things a day to ship out, very easy. Most clothing goes in poly bags, like so, shirts, sweaters. I could even put jeans in these, and things that go first class go on one of these. This is just a 12 by 15, I think, bag, maybe 9 by 13, 12 by 15, 9 by 13, one of the two. I don't know, whatever fits your purpose. But most first class shirts and stuff like that, things that weigh 1 ounce, goes in here. Jeans, etc., go on one of these. Put it in there. If it's a little bit bigger pair of jeans or something, I may put it in a regional A and not try to mess with that for $1 more. And then our suits and sport coats are in these things. Shipping, really, 15 minutes. That's it. Ship 10 things. Like, you just put the stuff on the scale, put in your measurements. There's no packing. There's no, I need to create a box for it. This ain't signs. This ain't photographs. We ain't shipping a globe. We're not shipping a lamp. Shipping clothing. So a lot of it depends on your niche and where you're going to be with this. But as you can see, so let's say it takes you 30 minutes a day to do shipping, finding the items and doing the shipping. So let's say, let's just cut it up to like 6 hours a day shipping. Or, sorry, week. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. So, right there, just with shipping, photographing it for 70 items, I'm saying 18 hours. Let's just chop it up to 20 hours. Sounds good, right? And then 20 hours thrifting to find those items, 40 hours. That is very doable. I mean, I would consider that what was the word? A reasonable hours. Oh, we don't want to, that hurts. My rib cage is sore from coughing all yesterday. Take a glass of water. Don't want to cough. All right, back to work. So I mean, it's very doable. It's very easily attainable. Now it depends a lot where you live, what your niche is, what you're dealing in, what your buying cost is per item. Our buying cost is approximately, I would say, I'll just chop it up to like 15% of what we sell. Maybe even if I put it high at 20%. I mean, I don't think it's that high, but we'll say 20%, and then eBay fees. We'll just even chop it up to eBay fees, because they do all this promoted listing mumbo jumbo now. We'll put it to like 18%, 38% between your buying costs and your PayPal and eBay fees, and you're doing 240 if you could average 20,000 a month. And then throw in a few other costs. We'll even say like 45%. Very doable. I mean, right there, you'd be averaging 90. That'd be like 120 profits. So it's more than doable. But it's you have the motivation, and you may have to work your ass off in the beginning because you have to build yourself to a level. Like for us to do that number, I'd have to build myself to 1,200, 1,300 listings approximately. If it worked, if the whole doubling your store worked, which we all know, I had 1,000 things on our eBay store before, got as high as I think 1,100, and had very similar to results today with only 600. Sometimes when you try to expand, your buying habits get lazy and you start to buy things that you probably wouldn't buy because they're slow sellers, but you want to just fill a store. You get into this mentality of it will sell eventually. It's like saying there's an ass for every seat. And in theory, yes, but it's not the greatest idea. It's that was when I used to work at Pontiac for a little while, and I used to do the sales cars. I mean, trading cars, used to sell them. That was the thing when they had the damn Aztec. They used to talk about that. They asked for every seat, and I was just like, those Aztec things are ugly. And if you don't know what a Pontiac, I think it's Pontiac that made them. Pontiac Aztec. They're the car, the white SUV looking thing that's on oh shit, Breaking Bad, that the guy Walt drove in the first like 4 seasons. That thing, yeah, it's a little funky. They have a little cult following to them, but it's a little out there of a vehicle. It definitely has some interesting features. I remember there was a vehicle that was going on 3 years old, brand new, and they were still trying to get rid of that thing. There was a reason why Pontiac eventually, unfortunately, I mean, home of the GTO. You wouldn't want a GTO. So many other muscle cars that they went freaking flop after all those years. Damn General Motors. But anyway, getting off on tangents again. It's very doable, but it depends on what your niche is and how often you can get that stuff, how cheap you can get it. Because if your buying cost is a little bit higher than 20%, you have to make it up somewhere to make that $100,000 profit level. Now, it's very doable, but not everybody's going to have the time to source. So that's why you see a lot of people go into wholesale. You see a lot of people go into other avenues. I could probably now I don't mind like going to retail arbitrage and going to Burlington co-factories or going to Marshalls or TJ Maxx and looking for items. That doesn't bother me, but I have to have my buy-in cost has to be 3 times. So if I'm buying an item for 10, has to at least sell for like 40 because I have to get my $10 back and then I look at it. I have to sell for that price. Otherwise, I don't really like it unless it's things like where you're buying something for like 50 and it's selling for 2 or selling for 180. Get a few multiples. It's not that bad. But selling new items, it's a whole different thing. We've dabbled in it many different times. I mean, we've talked about it for 5, 6 years, going to Marshalls, TJ Maxx, probably 7 years. Sometime next month, I think it'll be 7 years since we've made our first video on YouTube talking about this junk. And back then, I didn't know shit what I was doing. I had no idea. And I did these videos only to show my progress and a way for me to look back. There's times where I go back and I look at my old videos. It's actually kind of fun seeing the progress. But to answer the question, it is doable without a question. On Instagram, there's more people that do it that I believe come close to doing it or do it. Like Tech and Sport, somebody that do $3,000 in sales a day, and homeboy's, solo person running that business. It's crazy to think the numbers he does, what he has listed, how he can get it up there and package it and do it on a daily basis. But I'd be burning out. Like candle in the wind, but he does it. You got to give somebody credit for that. Does what, $1 million? It's crazy. Gross sales. Even if you're bringing home 300-400 profit, like that's big money. Big money for an eBay business being solo. Other people like the Posh Hanger, she does really well. I don't, but a lot of these people that you don't know all their numbers. You see numbers, you can only speculate on it. So a lot of people want to stay anonymous. They don't want to talk about their businesses, and most people that it's just because they don't have time to talk about it. Like right now, I should be taking photographs, and I'm over here making a video. And it's not like YouTube is balling out over here. I can't even pay my car payment with what I make on YouTube most months. Yeah, I don't think I've ever covered my car payment. I got a stupid high car payment. But that's another day for another. That's a video. That could be a subject for another day. But like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys all later. I'm feeling better. Everybody wants to know. And have a good day. See you guys later. Adios, amigos.